In a previous video, I talked about the idea that I moved away from Christianity and religion as a whole because of some ideas I was being introduced to during a Philosophy 101 class at Valencia College. But some of the things that I started to think about since that point helped me to, or brought me to believe that there is a human soul after all. So the first thing that really struck me as demonstrative of the human soul is emotions. Now, it's easy to, I think, dismiss it and chalk it up to advanced brain power and strength and development that we have over animals, and with our brains being the size and the capacity that they have, that maybe emotions are just thrown in the mix for our advanced ability to think. But what's odd about emotions to me is that they are usually counterproductive. For example, when you're in love, oftentimes you don't think rationally, you don't act rationally. If you're in college and you need to study, or you need to focus on your job, and maybe your thoughts are drifting to spending time with this person because you're in love with them, especially in the mating or dating stages. But it's not productive. Let's think about anger. Really, is there a purpose to anger? I mean, you could say the fight or flight, if you need to protect yourself against a foe, so anger will develop additional chemicals, perhaps strength, perhaps adrenaline, in order to combat a foe. But a lot of times, it really is counterproductive, and especially rage, where you might act in a way that will get you hurt or in jail, or fired from your job, or the very least damage a relationship with someone that you could have perhaps solved through debate or communication or discussion instead of anger. And even when you're debating or discussing something, if you start to get excited or start to get angry or start to get frustrated, you can't think as clearly and you can't even debate as well. So that's another example where emotions are completely counterproductive to your logical, rational thought. So, and this goes on and on. I mean, with depression, that's an easy one, or sadness. What does that do for you from an evolutionary or productive perspective? Nothing. It hampers you. There's no reason to be depressed. There's no reason, logically speaking, to dwell on the past, to get bogged down in your situation and saddened by it, because it doesn't help you in any way. There's no benefit to it. So these emotions, to me, are demonstrative of one of the things that separate humanity from other animals. And I know there's some small examples of animals demonstrating emotion too. I've got a dog, and it's oftentimes where it looks like she's smiling, she seems happy, her tail wags. And other animals too, from what I understand, exhibit various properties of emotion. But humanity is very unique in the sense that we have such a high capacity for it. And again, I can't see any evolutionary purpose for it, and it is, in my mind, counterproductive to doing things, to accomplishing things, to being prosperous, or sometimes even survival. So emotions are a big thing for me as far as what seems to indicate the soul. I'm going to go ahead and list a few others that are unique to humanity, if not exclusive to humanity. In some cases, there are some animal examples, but most of it is exclusive to humanity. And again, I can't think of any evolutionary purpose for the majority of these things. The first is a sense of morality. We have a sense of right or wrong that sometimes it is completely logical, and it's for the benefit of society and the benefit of humanity as a species. So there are some examples of morality where it's good logically, but I think a sense of morality in this internal battle where a lot of times we have an instinct, for example, if we see someone attractive and we want to have sex with them, but we can't because we know it's wrong. Or if we're angry and we want to strike out at them, but we don't or can't because we know it's wrong. And some of it is a consequence. You'll have a consequence, and there's some logic there. So that's not one of the clearer ones, but I still think it's demonstrative, our sense of morality in battle for things that we know are wrong when we feel like we want to do them. And in some cases, it would benefit us if we do. Our creativity, our desire to write poetry, to create art, the desire of humanity to make things that are beautiful, to express ourselves. And that also extends to singing, dancing, music, where what is the evolutionary purpose of expressing yourself in a way that's creative or what you would consider beautiful? And not only the way we outwardly perform these, but also the way we inwardly ingest them. When we see something that's beautiful and artistic, or even if we see creation or the earth as something that's beautiful and seizes us and wells us to tears, or makes us feel, by viewing it or being in it, feel the beauty and majesty of whatever it is we're seeing or being part of at that point in time. And for music especially, because there's no logical explanation why a certain song would impact us, be it if we're playing it or singing it or just hearing it, can impact us so emotionally sometimes. And so why? What's the logical reason for it? What does it really do? How does it benefit us? I don't see anything there aside from connecting back to emotions and being, again, demonstrative of our soul. We have a sense of humor. Humanity has a weird, noticeable ability to laugh and to make things or say things that are funny. It's just a weird, non-logical thing. What makes things funny? The fact that we have sex for pleasure. And I know there are exceptions. There are animals that do seem to, or do actually have sex for pleasure. I think a few of them are the bonobo monkeys, macaques, dolphins, hyenas. But there are very few exceptions in the animal kingdom for having sex for pure pleasure and not just for procreation. We have a curiosity to understand things. What does it do? How does it work? What does it mean? How does the earth work? What's in space? What's down in the depths of the ocean? You could attribute that to our mind, and that's fine too. Most animals communicate, but only humans communicate anywhere near the extent and with the various qualities that we do. Recalling the past, telling about the future, telling stories, describing things, and so on. We question our purpose. What does it all mean? What are we here for? What's my purpose in life? Is this all there is? We seek to find meaning in life and meaning in our existence and in other things and even just the world around us. What is our destiny? What happens when we die? That's another thing that is very unique and I think expressive or demonstrative of our soul. We care about, and this is another weird thing, we care about the way things look, how pretty they are, our living area. We beautify our house. We, paint our walls. We match our decor. We want things to look aesthetically pleasing, and we arrange our environment so that they are aesthetically pleasing to us. Well, what's the purpose? What's the evolutionary reason? What's the advantage? We end up just wasting our money and our resources to try to decorate things when really all we need, is a climate-controlled cave to contain our belongings and to sleep in from a practical perspective. So these are the things that I consider the humanity or the demonstration or the exhibit or the examples of the human soul.